What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG and Facebook. It's Wednesday, so this is a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is our midweek reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men who love black gay men. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Now let's get into the episode. I went out on a date with someone who was almost 15 years younger than me, and it was at that point that I realized that I have become a daddy. Remember when we used to go look at older men in the club and be like, why are you still out here clubbing? I remember telling myself that when I'm that age, I'm going to be married with somebody, but here we are. And sis, I'm sorry to tell you, break this bad news to you, but we are them. I met this guy. His name is David. That is not his name, but to protect his anonymity, that is what we will call him. David came up to me at the gym one day. I'm wearing Hoochie Daddy, the hoochiest daddy shorts. And he asked me if I was Jay the Gentleman. He listens to the podcast, and on first sight, I thought he was so cute, adorable cute. He's short, petite little body. He's a gym head, so even though he's petite, he's still got a nice body. He's got broad shoulders, good boobs. It's still weird when people walk up to me at the gym or out and be like, "Are you Jay the Gentleman?" I haven't gotten used to that, but I probably should. After a couple weeks of conversation between sets, I figured out that he was, in addition to being cute, he's educated, he's well-spoken, he's in his mid-20s. He thanked me for having the podcast because he believes that Dear Black Gay Men is helping our culture heal, which is a tall order. So David got my number at the gym and asked me out based on advice that I had given in a previous episode of the podcast. That in itself made me feel all these awkward daddy vibes. But let me back up, give y'all a little more context. When I was 22, I talked to this guy. He was 40. I can't really remember his name, but I can remember how he made me feel. Half the time, he shaded me about my age and my lack of experience. I'm using the air quotes around that. I was, in fact, inexperienced, but he ain't have to throw it in my face every chance he got. The other half of the time, I just watched him. How he did shit, what he focused on, what he gave his attention to. Nothing was frivolous with him. We never made our relationship official, but from then on, my experience with him shaped my attraction. I didn't want to be with frivolous men who did frivolous things. I saw focus in him. He saw a little bit of maturity in me. And that for us was enough to justify an 18-year age gap. I believe that our experiences shape our attractions. For better or worse, most of the time we're either looking for the opposite of what we've had in our past, or we're looking for more of what we've had in our past. That's what keeps us single. When we know we want to be in a relationship, or in a relationship when we should probably be single. We go looking for this narrow idea of a man based on the attractions that we've seen in the past, and that keeps us closed off to all these other dating options that could be available to us. Or we've been dreaming about this man for so long, and we finally found somebody that comes close to this crazy definition that we've dreamt up. It ain't working, but you feel stuck because this man of your dreams ain't really dreaming the way he's supposed to be dreaming. My experience with that 40-year-old daddy showed me that I want depth and experience in relationship. I didn't exclusively date men with that big a age gap, but for a long time I only really had eyes for older men. But their age isn't what I was attracted to. Their experience was. But that level of experience can come in many packages. It can come in any age range. We've all seen immature ass old men doing their thing, probably dating somebody half their age. Or we've probably been very mature young men at some point in our dating lives. I had good experiences with old men. For that reason, I inadvertently stopped considering men my age or younger. But we all do that. Every time Trey fucks us good, now we're only into masculine men. Even though butch queens have actual big dick energy and they'll treat you right. Or every time we say we want man with money, but what we really want is security. Or we say we want older man, but what we're really attracted to is focus and consistency. When we understand the foundational components of what we actually desire, why we actually desire, we may find that the root of our attractions can look very different than what we expected. We delude ourselves into masking our true desires in packages that make sense. We say things like we want a man who's age appropriate. Or maybe we have preferences around skin color or height. Or maybe it's sexual position or mannerisms. We create these unchecked preferences because somebody somewhere told us that that shit was cute. It makes sense. It complements who you are today. But our true attractions, true, authentic attraction rarely makes sense. But I think the bigger lesson is how we idealize relationships. That process could be what's failing us. We paint a picture in our head of what bae looks like. Then we look for that in the people that we date. In my head, I'd be dating a 40-year-old butch queen by now with pretty feet. I was married to this made up version of a man that I created in my head that I couldn't even consider dating a 26-year-old doctoral candidate. Then, there he goes. David showed me something different. The process of dating, of relationshiping, connecting with another man should show us something different about us. Every relationship, every dating situation that we encounter, if our intentions are clear, should help us be better, exist more closely to ourselves. One of my first partners was a femme queen. He had a funny accent from Richmond, Virginia. He helped me come out. He forced me lovingly to be comfortable with who I am authentically. Another one of my exes with a funny accent from South Florida. Central Florida, the middle part of Florida. He taught me what actual integrity is. The last man that I dated, he had a funny accent from South Carolina, and he forced me to confront and heal my insecurities. If we are truly, honestly thinking about what we have gone through, who we have encountered, none of us would be who or where we are had we not been open to evolution, wherever it may have come from. If we allow ourselves the space to grow, if we get comfortable with the idea that we might not have it all figured out, bae will inevitably show up and help us evolve, even if he's 12 years younger than us. I don't know where things will go with David, but dear Black gay men, as fly as you are, as smart as you are, you may not know every fucking thing. That was our show. Next time, I'm going to be breaking down some entanglement etiquette that I think Black gay men fuck up every time. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG and Facebook. If this episode made you feel a little more dope, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the video, and share it with someone who needs a dopeness reminder. Dear Black Gay Men Podcast is new every Wednesday, so you can stream it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And thanks in advance for a 5-star rating. It literally helps us find new listeners. We go live on YouTube Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with our interview series, Dear Black Gay Men Live. So follow at Dear Black Gay Men on social so you never miss a thing. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men Podcast, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.